Hey everyone, it's your girl Layla. Welcome back to my channel.
The grass ain't green on the other side, no. You did me dirty for the last time, so now I gotta say goodbye.
Okay guys, in today's video, I'm gonna be doing a perfume review. Surprise, surprise. This is going to be on Lattafa's Teriaq, which I am so excited to share with you guys. This is kind of like I would say like a transitional perfume between winter and spring. So this is the perfect time to film this video and get it up for you guys because that is exactly the time that we're in right now. It is March now, finally. We're kind of over like the winter time, the winter months and all of that. I'm so thankful for that. But yeah, I think that this is the perfect fragrance for around this time of the year where it's still a little cold outside, but it's starting to warm up and you do want like a more floral powdery perfume versus a gourmand. If you are not already subscribed, please go ahead, click that subscribe button below. I upload 3 times a week, Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if you guys didn't know, I love perfumes, I love fragrances, and I love reviewing them and hauling them for you guys, especially when it comes to Arabian, Middle Eastern fragrances, because they are not only affordable, but they're also really amazing quality as well. I've never had a bad experience. I don't have any wood to knock on, so I'm gonna knock on this perfume box. I haven't had any bad experiences with Arabian perfumes and lasting power and all of that stuff. They've been really, really good, at least the ones that I've tried. I will say I do my research before I buy any perfume, especially these ones, because I don't have a way to test them. I am basically blind buying all of them. There is a drugstore that's kind of local to me. It's still like a 2.5-hour drive to get there that actually does sell Lattafa and Paris Corner and all of that, and you can actually test them, but it's still like 2.5 hours away. So I just normally blind buy all of my Arabian fragrances and just hope for the best. But I am really good at looking up notes on Fragrantica and stuff like that and just deciding from there whether or not it's going to be something that I like or not. This particular perfume, my friend actually has this and she bought it before me, so I was able to actually try it before buying it, which is so nice because I don't think I would have given this one a chance. Based on the notes of this one, I probably wouldn't have given this one a second look, but when I saw the presentation, the bottle, the packaging, all of that, plus you know, getting to actually test it and see if I like the scent, I actually fell in love with it and I did end up getting it. This is actually a pretty inexpensive Lattafa fragrance because it has been around since, it's been around since 2024. I thought this was launched back in like 2022 or something. Usually with newer releases from Lattafa, they actually end up costing more. But this one, I think it was a pretty good price. I think it was around $30 around there. So this one was launched in 2024, just like I mentioned. The perfumer behind this one is Quentin Biche, which I think he does a lot of high-end fragrances. So this was a really nice collab with Lattafa. Let me just click on his name on Fragrantica to see what other fragrances he's created. So he does like Bottega fragrances, Carolina Herrera. He does a lot of Carolina Herrera fragrances. So he's a really like well-established perfumer. He does have quite a long category of perfumes that he's done. So this was a really surprising collab with Lattafa because usually they kind of either copy other fragrances or they kind of just do their own thing for the most part. So I was very surprised that this one was a collab with a perfumer. The top notes in here are caramel, bitter almond, apricot, pink pepper. Middle notes in here are honey, rhubarb, white flowers, and rose. Base notes are leather, vanilla, musk, vetiver, and labdanum, which I've talked about before. I'm not quite sure what that one smells like. Labdanum is basically described as resins and balsams, so I'm kind of getting like a ambery vibe with that. But this was honestly love at first smell for me, and I was not expecting it because I'm not a huge fan of leathery fragrances. I think they lean a lot more masculine for the most part, but the leather is in the base with this one, so it's not that bad. It is something that I do pick up in this fragrance. This one is marketed as a men and women fragrance. Just in case you guys were wondering, it is a unisex fragrance. It did come like this. It did come with this sleeve on top of this part, but I took this off because it's so hard to put back on. But it basically comes with this, if you guys were wondering. It's just a cardboard sleeve. And this part of the packaging is my favorite. This is something that I'm probably going to keep in my collection. I don't normally keep perfume packages because if I did that, I would just have an abundance of perfume boxes and all of that. But this is so nice. It's sleek, and this part is plastic. This is not a cardboard box. This is a well thought out, almost niche looking fragrance. It does have the Lattafa logo there at the top, the name and all of that here at the front. It does have this little gold, almost like puzzle piece at the bottom. It's really interesting, and you do have to be careful when you close this because it has to line up, otherwise it doesn't close, obviously. And it does have the Lattafa logo right there with the little seal saying that it is original, and then the bottom has all of Lattafa's info like that. I did get this on perfumebuy.ca back, I think, during Black Friday. It was a while ago. I've had this for a while. So you just open it like this. I did a short unboxing this also just to give you guys like a idea of the details of this fragrance because it's absolutely amazing. Again, packaging, absolutely amazing. It looks like a jewelry box, and the perfume just sits in there. And then this is what the bottle looks like. I do like to go over the bottle before I talk about the fragrance because I think the bottle has its own story with every fragrance, and this is just such a beautiful bottle. So it does have this gold snake wrapped around the top part like that. So cute. And then this part right here, it does say Teriaq right here at the bottom. This part is like a fully gold bottom, and overall the bottle is just so sleek. I love the fact that it's like rose gold, gold, nude all together. It's a very neutral, very classy looking bottle. Ugh. I haven't worn this in a while. I'll be honest, I haven't worn this in a while. I was kind of obsessed with it when I first got it, but I was also in the mood to wear a lot of Hamra by Lattafa because it was around December. Like I said, I got this for Black Friday, so it was around the beginning of December. So I did wear this like a handful of times, but not as much as I want to. But I think that this is definitely a more, you know, transition season leaning fragrance. I don't think that this is a good like wintertime fragrance, but I did wear it on a few occasions. This is a really nice also like special occasion, date night, Christmas party, anytime you would get dressed up, this is a good fragrance for that. That's kind of the vibes I get with this one. So it's just, I'm also not a light sprayer, but I'm trying to be sometimes because I do have to go to work. I work in like 3 hours from now, so it's not a huge deal, but this is definitely a beast mode fragrance. Okay, when I first spray this, let it, like, I'm not gonna let it dry down or anything like that. When I first initially spray this, I get like a nice powdery fragrance. I get that almond note. I get that almond, the bitter almond note in there, which my friend did not like that at all, but she likes the dry down of this one. She didn't like the initial spray at all, and I didn't think that I would either, but I think it actually works. So I do get that bitter almond note mixed with the apricot, and I do also initially get that honey note as well because it is definitely sweet upon first spray. So I get apricot, honey, bitter almond. What else is that? What is that note that I'm smelling right now? I get something else in the mix of that. It's gonna bug me. I'm gonna look up the notes again. It's one of the oh, rhubarb. I get that rhubarb too, because it's almost like a sweet bitteriness like you get from like rhubarb pie, if that makes sense. It's not so gourmand where this fragrance is edible at all. It's just, it's almost giving like the edible gourmand vibe upon first spray, but it also blends really, really nice with those floral notes in here. So it's not like a full-on gourmand, which I love both. I just did a review on Paris Corner's Care Pistachio, and I mentioned in that video, that one is like a clean gourmand. So that one has like that soapy note, powdery notes in the initial spray, and then it dries down to a sweet gourmand. This one is almost like a soft floral gourmand, if that makes sense. So it does have those sweet notes in here initially, but then on dry down, it dries very like powdery, and you get those deep notes as well. So it's not like a straight up powdery perfume. You get powder mixed with that leathery note. So you get kind of like the deeper dark notes with this one when it dries down, but you're also getting the floral. The reviews are saying that honey note is very, very prominent, which yeah, it is very prominent. If you do like this perfume, you might also like Lattafa Hamra or Eclair or Nebras. So if you're into like the deeper kind of darker perfumes from Lattafa, more gourmand, sweeter ones, you're gonna like this one as well. So I think that this is just a light, almost like springtime edition of those. Don't get me wrong, when I say the word light, I don't mean that it is a light smelling fragrance at all, because this one projects like crazy. I will get into that, which is why I said I want to spray this pretty lightly, because I do have to work in like 3 hours from now. Let me just finish up with the notes and I'll get into like the sillage projection and all that. So yes, I do get the sweetness from the caramel. I forgot caramel was actually one of the notes in here. I thought that most of that sweetness was coming from the honey, because it is a very honeyed type fragrance. If you're not into like honey notes, if you don't like Jean Paul Gaultier Scandal, you're not going to like this, I don't think, because it does lean very honey in here. There is the white flower and rose note. The rose note is kind of hidden, but it's blended really well with the florals in here, I feel like, and you smell that more in the dry down. I think the white flowers add a really nice powderiness to this perfume. I definitely 100% can pick up the leather note in the dry down. That is 100%. I do get the nice vetiver, musk, vanilla kind of sweetness, powderiness as well in the dry down, and that labdanum note, which is like ambery, I guess. I do think I get that in the dry down as well, because it does dry down very nice and almost like a deep powdery perfume, which I don't know if I'm describing that really well, because I feel like that doesn't sound very appealing to people that don't like powdery notes, but this is a very, very complex fragrance. I think it's also very sophisticated in a sense where this smells like it would cost you like $150 a bottle or more. This leans more like almost like niche fragrancy to me. I don't think that this is your typical Lattafa fragrance where you're getting a lot of amber vibes to it. I know a lot of people complain about Lattafa fragrances and say that the dry down is just amber and there's nothing really special about their fragrances in the dry down, but this one I feel like is just, it's different. It's on a different level when it comes to this fragrance altogether, and I do think it's based on the fact that this was created by a perfumer. I think that has a lot to do with it, because this is just not your typical Lattafa fragrance at all. This one is so much more than that. It's much deeper, and okay, I will say projection, sillage and stuff, I'll get into that right now. This projects like crazy. This projects like crazy. This is a heavy hitter fragrance, and which is funny because like I just said, it's a good transition type fragrance. This is not something I would wear in the winter unless I was going to a special event, but this is a heavy hitter when it comes to sillage and projection. I will tell you that people will actually say something about it when you're in a room. They will notice this fragrance for sure. I think that the projection is definitely way more than an arm's length. I think it's like half a room. This fragrance will definitely fill up a room. And I do notice when I spray it on myself, if I leave the room and go back into the room, I will definitely 100% smell this. I've definitely gotten compliments on this perfume at work because I feel like I work in such a almost like a sterile environment that any type of perfume that you wear is going to project a little bit more than if you were working in, like, say a stuffy like office space. I've definitely gotten my fair share of compliments on this perfume every time I wear it to work because it's just such a noticeable fragrance, and not in a bad way. It's a really nice crowd-pleasing fragrance for the most part. I heard someone say that it was a little bit too strong for them across the unit pretty much, which I was like, really? Because I didn't spray it that much that day. I sprayed it really lightly because I knew I was going to work. I sprayed it like once here, once at the back of my neck, and once here, so a lot less than I sprayed today, and it was just, you know, projecting like crazy. And I guess some people have a more sensitive nose to it, but otherwise, I think that this is definitely a great crowd-pleasing fragrance. So if you are looking for something, maybe not necessarily something that you would get someone as a gift, because I really feel like they have to really enjoy that honey note, which not everybody likes, that powderiness on the dry down, again, which is not what everyone prefers. If they do like sophisticated perfumes, they do like something a little bit powdery, they like Scandal, that's a good perfume to kind of compare this one with. Prada Candy is also something that's kind of in the same realm as this fragrance. If they like stuff like that, then they are definitely going to love this and enjoy it as well. And how could you not fall in love with the packaging? It is seriously amazing. One more time for the packaging. So this is what the bottom looks like. I forgot to show you. It's actually like embedded into the gold. Super cool. Like it's raised and everything. How adorable is this bottle? Oh my gosh. This is just gonna look so cute on someone's vanity. I love this. So that was my review for Lattafa Teriaq. I'm not going to be talking anymore, making this a super long video, but I absolutely love this one. 10 out of 10. I will leave it linked in the description box below as well as in the pinned comment. This is not a sponsored video. I did buy this one myself. I did get this from perfumeonline.ca. If you are interested in getting this for a really good price, definitely check them out. And that is all for this one. I do hope you enjoyed it, and if you are not already subscribed, please go ahead, click that subscribe button below. I upload 3 times a week, Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I will see you guys soon with a new video. Bye.
I let you in deeper than I let